Hi guys, my name is Dr. Vince Hassel. I wanted to do a quick little video and talk to some people about whole body cryotherapy from a Facebook post today that Jake was reaching out to ask people what their experience was with whole body cryotherapy. And I thought it'd be easier for me just to kind of hit some points because I don't want to spend time responding to a lot of these things and typing up comments. So I thought I'd do it this way and see if we could get some things answered. Whole body cryotherapy, you know, a lot of people don't know a lot about it and what it truly does for the body, and that's where some of the misconceptions are with whole body cryotherapy. Whole body cryotherapy is a natural modality that works with the body to help the body heal by reducing systemic inflammation and decreasing pain, things like this. It was invented in 1978 by Dr. Yamaguchi in Japan for rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, and autoimmune disorders. It was incredibly successful, and it's still just as incredibly successful today, you know, 30 plus years later as it was in 1978. So, you know, a lot of you guys are athletes on this post, and you know a lot about nutrition and exercise, and you talk about ice baths and things like this. Ice baths would not help somebody with rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia and multiple sclerosis and different conditions like this. So that's what it was invented for, and that's the kind of people that really benefit from this the most, and it changes their lives and gets them off drugs and infusions and different things like this, and that's really a big deal. And when you talk about the investment in their health to do something natural like this compared to taking drugs and all the side effects that kills them, that's a great thing. So whole body cryotherapy is definitely an investment. You know, it's not cheap, but it helps so many different people. So I wanted to touch base on that. It's also a natural thing. The machine's not the healer. The cryosauna is not the healer. The body's the healer. So what whole body cryotherapy does is it tricks the body into this hypothermic state. So vasoconstriction happens at the extremities, bringing all your blood back to the core, where that blood circulates there, and then it gets basically scrubbed up fresh. I could get way more technical with you about what it exactly does, but as it circulates at the vital organs to keep the core stable, because the core temperature can't fluctuate more than 4.5 degrees between hypothermia and hyperthermia, that blood gets cleaned up by the heart and lungs and kidneys and liver, because that's what those vital organs do. They cleanse the blood. And then it sends the healing blood back to the body when the vasodilation rebound happens after a cryo session. With that being said, like with you guys know, with exercise or with nutrition, you can't just do a week's worth of nutrition and expect transformation of the body and healing of the body. You can't do a week's worth of exercise with the best personal trainer in town at the fanciest gym with all the amenities, and someone could say, you know what, I tried that gym and that personal trainer 5 times, and I went, but I just didn't see the benefits. You know, I didn't see the transformation. It really didn't do much for me. Whole body cryotherapy is a natural modality. It works with the body. You have to do it more than 5 times to get the true benefits and the true long-term results of what whole body cryotherapy can do, which are amazing things, and I'll get to that in a second. Taurus, you said load of crap marketing gimmick. The short duration doesn't give the cold air enough time to penetrate the superficial layers of the skin. That's the trick with whole body cryotherapy. It's not supposed to penetrate deep into the skin. There's no moisture in the air. See, with cold like an Iowa winter or even an ice bath, the athlete that takes an ice bath, there's moisture, there's water, so there's a heat transfer. So that temperature goes deep into the tissues. That's why it's dangerous. Number one, it's 50 degrees above zero. Whole body cryotherapy is 250 degrees below zero. So with that cold temperature of an ice bath or outside in the mountains, there's humidity and it's not cold enough. And so that temperature, that water, there's a conductivity because of the water. So it goes deep in the tissue, so the athlete can't sit in that miserable ice bath more than 15 or 20 minutes, because then he runs into problems with hypothermia and frostbite and things like this. So the trick with whole body cryotherapy is there's no moisture, so there's no heat transfer. So Taurus, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. Whole body cryotherapy only penetrates the skin 0.5 millimeter. Thereby, it tricks the thermoreceptors in your brain to thinking that you're freezing and hypothermic, but you're not. And it happens that fast. So I think someone else said that, you know, how could it happen in that short duration of time? We're talking about the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is your fight, fright, and flight. Think about this for a second. If you were sitting in your room watching your computer right now and listening to me talk, and someone walked into your room with a shotgun, stimulates your fight, fright, and flight, your saber-toothed tiger survival mechanism. How long do you think that it takes for your sympathetic nervous system to kick into gear? It happens in a heartbeat. Your body's designed to physiologically respond to the stress situation right now. So positive treatment of whole body cryotherapy is only 90 seconds to 3 minutes. And you think, oh, how can I do it when it's this fast? Because the innate intelligence of the body is that brilliant, and it happens that fast, thereby going into the benefits of what whole body cryotherapy does. Another gentleman tried it, delayed onset muscle soreness, pretty banged up. He liked it. It was good. You know, some other things, like one of the comments was about, oh, okay, here it is, low back pain. So a guy had low back pain, chiropractic traction machine, doesn't know what that's called, helped me much more than cryotherapy. Whole body cryotherapy doesn't replace your chiropractor. Whole body cryotherapy doesn't remove subluxations and get the pressure off the nervous system. So there's a cause and an effect. And so when you have a spinal issue, lumbar spine, cervical spine, whatever it is, and the vertebral bone subluxated, putting pressure on the nervous system, whole body cryotherapy doesn't fix that cause. You need to have that cause fixed. Whole body cryotherapy in this case would be an adjunctive modality to add to the chiropractic care to help decrease that acute inflammation. So this is acute inflammation, just like if you sprained your ankle, and we're talking about the low back situation. Different than systemic inflammation, what I'll get to here in a second as well. Somebody said, I get more from my horse trough full of ice, and ice bath seems to get deeper. It's not as effective though. Yes, it's effective, and that's why athletes have done ice baths for a long time. And we've used cryotherapy, snow, ice, things like this for decreasing inflammation for a long time. Remember, whole body cryotherapy was invented more for systemic inflammation than local acute inflammation like sprained ankle, sore shoulder, or such like this. But it also helps tremendously with those acute joint inflammation problems. Went a few times. It was more stressful because it freaked me out and was uncomfortable. There are some people that have anxiousness with the cold and 250 degrees below zero. Most people get over it, and they have no issues with the cold. I have no issues with the cold. I actually look forward to it and love it. Different groups of people have done polar plunges since the beginning of time. It wakes up your cells in your nervous system. It's the shock, again, to the nervous system that allows this to happen. You'll hear Tony Robbins talk about this, and Tim Ferriss, and these different guys that blog, different people that do cold plunges every morning, cold showers. You know, Tony Robbins has whole body cryotherapy units in his house, and all the houses he has, and he bought one for his mother-in-law or whoever because she was having problems with arthritis. So whole body cryotherapy is bigger than a polar plunge. It's much more beneficial than a polar plunge. Ryan, that's fantastic that you had lots of benefits with whole body cryotherapy, reducing inflammation, faster recovery, more energy. Those are the benefits. That's what it's made for. Felt like you lost body fat quicker. That's because of the increased basal metabolic rate, the 500, 800 calories that's burned every session of whole body cryotherapy, which is a true statement, and the decrease in systemic inflammation. You guys understand that, okay, so systemic inflammation, low-grade chronic cellular inflammation, that's what I'm talking about. Most Americans are systemically inflamed, and the reason why is because of the omega-6 toxicity that these Americans eat through their standard American diet. You guys know this. You have essential fatty acids, omega-3s, omega-6s, and omega-9s. Omega-3s break down to EPAs, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, dextrohexanoic acid. And omega-3s omega-6s break down to arachidonic acid. And that's incredibly inflammatory for the body. They say that the hunter and gatherer, the paleo diet, that the ratio of omega-6s to omega-1s was 2-to-1 was a healthy ratio. Now Americans are anywhere from 10-to-1 to 40-to-1 omega-6 toxic. That is systemic inflammation. That is chronic low-grade cellular inflammation. That's what we're talking about. The whole body cryotherapy helps reduce that inflammation from deep in the tissues and deep in the blood, and cleans up that blood, detoxifies it. I'll get to that in a second, Josh, and then sends us healing blood back to the body. So Josh would like to find one person who has used long-term substantial evidence and actually did anything appreciable that compared to that of the cost of the money and time. There are lots of people, Josh, out there who have benefited from whole body cryotherapy long-term. Not only just the standard American with fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune disorders, things like this, but obviously our world-class athletes, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, all your MMA fighters. These guys aren't just chatting about it and raving about it because it's junk. They wouldn't do that. They would tell you about the things that really benefit them, and these are the things that really benefit them. That's why professional teams, the Chicago Cubs, They put one in their new sexy athletic training center. The reason why is because it's beneficial and it works. University of Missouri, they have 2 of them in their athletic training center now. University of Georgia, everybody that uses their body on a daily basis as an athlete are all excited about whole body cryotherapy and using whole body cryotherapy. There was something else I wanted to get to. Okay, toxins. So now they're talking about this toxin thing. So I talked about it a little bit, but I'll talk to you about elements within the blood that are toxic that causes this systemic inflammation. Arachidonic acid, which is the breakdown of omega-6 fatty acids, which is inflammatory to the body. That's what it does. EPAs, eicosapentaenoic acid, part of the omega-3 breakdown, is what blocks the conversion from omega-6s to arachidonic acid. That's why people need that. But you guys know that most Americans have a crap diet, omega-6 toxic, and that creates the problem. So there's going to be other things within inflammation. C-reactive protein, creatine kinase, interleukin, interferon, histamines. There's all kinds of different elements within the blood, and when that severe vasoconstriction happens at the extremities and it pulls that back to the vital organs and it gets scrubbed up as that blood circulates there, that's what we're talking about as far as detoxifying the blood. And then it sends this reoxygenated blood, red blood cells, enzymes, nutrients, and molecules back to the tissues as the vasodilation rebound happens post whole body cryotherapy treatment. That toxic load that got scrubbed up and left behind, now the excretory systems have to excrete that toxic load. What are the excretory systems? Obviously the bowel and the bladder, but also it's the skin and the upper respiratory tract. Those are also excretory systems. And so if a client's not drinking enough water to help push the toxicity out their excretory systems, their body can sometimes try to push it out the skin, and it can be like a rash, or it can be congestion in the sinuses because it's trying to push it out the upper respiratory tract. So that's why we encourage people to drink lots of water to push this toxicity out of the body, and their body can clean and cleanse optimally. That's what I'm gonna go with. If you guys have any more questions, you can certainly ask. That's my short little, 10-11 minute take on whole body cryotherapy. Check it out. It's truly amazing. You have to do it more than 1, 3, or 5 times to really get the health and wellness benefits of what happens with whole body cryotherapy. Again, just like you can't eat 5 days of healthy meals or go to do 5 workouts and get the benefits that you would expect from doing that health choice for your body. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.